Hello guys and welcome to this week's track guide. We are at Zandvoort, a track you likely never even thought of driving in ACC, and that is totally fine, but today we are still gonna be having a look at this wonderful track in northern Belgium. So make sure to get prepared well for your next race, and therefore we are in quite normal conditions. 20 something around 22 23 degrees, so to speak, LFM conditions, and therefore we are about to see a lap which was a 1:34.2. The last sector wasn't optimal, but that's not our main priority. So regarding turn 1, we want to brake at around 100 meters. That works with any car, but you see 100 meters is quite fine. A bit before that red marker, we want to brake that we get a little bit of a V shape here, so a little bit of a wide apex so that we can get maximum grip and momentum out of this one. So 100 meter braking, a little wide apex, and full throttle as early as possible. Then turns 2 to 4, we want to get the maximum amount of track we can have without touching the curb or the grass cut here. So the maximum width of the track is used. You could potentially go a little closer, but I didn't quite make it. So that was a little bit wide, but then still out here. So to memorize it, try to find some points. So braking is a bit rough because you need to do it a little bit before the end of the curb. Steering at the end of the curb, and then throttle around apex, and then brake at the end of the curb again. So yeah, in difference to F1, that corner does not have banking, so you can't fully rely on the slingshot you would likely want to have. So therefore, we brake and rev it. Yes, nice. We brake quite early and want to get some good run through here so that we can have once again a V shape and hit the throttle. Even though that corner isn't quite grippy, we want to brake around at the ACC signs there, have once again a little wide apex, and then try to bring the power on track, which can be hard. You see, as I struggled a little with the throttle application here. Just a little swirly there, but still turned out fine. And this is all obviously flat. And now we get into the rougher directions, the quick turns in sector 2. We want to brake around at the ambulance car at the end of the barrier, the orange one. Steering at the emergency way where the ambulance would go if you'd crash in there, to make sure that we get some good run through here. The minimum speed is important. It's more important than keeping it tight, because they knew why they put a curb out there. So focus on having the momentum and not on having the perfect line, because here you are gonna lose the speed anyway. You could have potentially gotten by not quite using the full track. We brake somewhere right behind that advertisement. We start to brake and then have a quite early steering point. So at that point we are already steering quite a lot, facing somewhere around this curb. The most important thing about it is that we just try to not completely clip this sausage-like one. Like it feels like a sausage, however it isn't. So just try to not fully take it and more slice this one for rotation. That you can have a good exit. So we want to not clip the gravel and then get a nice run. You can use the track here as much as you like, and then we have a corner without a braking point again. Maybe a quite good way to think of it is a bit after the end of the curb, somewhere where that photograph is standing is fine, so that you can just make it, because that was a little late. I didn't quite make it around. Must excuse that, but yeah, just try to make it stick. It's not very grippy here anyway, so just try to get the momentum down. That didn't cost a lot of time because I still managed to get some good minimum speed, but of course wasn't quite optimal. This one was quite nice in return. You want to go out to the right, so don't be distracted by the black, yeah, like the rubber rests. Just try to make it through and then hit the throttle again. Quite unconventional line, but I do believe it's the quickest. You want to brake and then slowly get on the throttle again to make it out, because that is like really slippy. Not a lot of grip. So you need quite thoughtful movements with your pedals, that for sure. The next one, sector 3, we want to brake around 100 and smash down the gears for engine brake. We can jump that in most cars, like Ford is totally fine, Merc is fine. Some cars might struggle a little bit, but it's also not a big problem to just get around it a little bit. But we can jump it. And then we can try to get, once again, wide apex in that very round corner. And then throttle out. I throttled a little late. Here is the optimal point, but I didn't quite make it with the front grip. So that lost a little bit of time. But let's watch that whole corner combination once again. Trying to get a good run, brake at 100, steer over the curb. Trying to close in and then get out a little and early throttle over this curb. That doesn't cost time, that piece of land. Some mowing, braking at 50 again. And then third gear, over the curb on the inside, into the gravel on the left side, that's no problem. And then just flat around. And that lap was a 1:34.335.